Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Pearl's Politics, where we make politics plain, simple, and fun. I know you say, how can politics be fun? Well, you haven't been watching the Emily Pearl show. I mean, the Pearl's Politics. All right. I can't laugh tonight because if I start laughing, I'll start coughing. I've been sick with my asthma and stuff. And I've had this asthma cough, and it's really, really rough. So I'm trying not to cough. Um, trying to share right now before I bring in the my co-host. Come on over. Hey, okay, got some names here now. All right, getting it in there. All right, trying to get in most of the faves. All right. So now joining me in the DC Cam Room Studio. It's Heartbeat of the South and my every heartbeat. My son, Tim Harrington. Hey Tim, how's it
Yeah.
going?
All right. Hey, Mom. How's everybody doing?
All right, man. Nobody's in yet, so I don't know. I think they're waiting at 7:01. I kind of spoiled them by getting them that extra minute.
Yeah.
But they'll be on in here in a minute.
Yeah.
And some of them, most of our people catch us on rerun anyway, so
Right. Right.
I don't too much worry about that. Um, I'll be thankful for what we get. I'm go ahead and I'm sending out. You can send out too. We'll take this time to
Okay.
do just that, to share,
Okay.
and then maybe come on in. hmm Try to go ahead and share them to the ones that's got the green dots on here. We know that they actually on there connected live now. I try to send to only people who kind of like politics.
Yeah.
But the thing about that is, you don't know who like politics, and I try not to infringe, on anybody's that might not like politics. But hey,
Right.
that's all, I do what I do. If they don't like what I do, all they gotta do is unfriend me. I think that's the way it goes, right?
Ah, I guess so.
All right, I hear my volume on your phone because I hear
Yeah.
echo.
I got it down.
You just turned it on. All right, great. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get started here. I'm gonna leave mine open. So there's Sandra watching. Sandra says hello everyone. Must be some chats came in down here at the bottom. There she goes. Hi Sandra. I, I don't feel too well today, but I just couldn't miss this show. Telling y'all because it's just too much going on for me. I think that's
Yeah.
I think that's what how some of this is making me sick. Is what making me sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start off with the fun fact before we go to break.
Okay.
But it really ain't nothing funny about it.
Okay.
In 2007, the United States Postal Service created the Forever Stamp, and they sold the stamp for 41 cents.
Okay.
And at that time, they told us that the stamp was called the Forever Stamp because the price would never go up.
Okay.
All right?
Uh-huh.
That sounds pretty good, don't it?
Yeah.
You give a round of applause for that, can you?
Yeah.
Well, guess what?
It went up.
The government lied. The government lied.
Yeah. Not surprising. I
On
make
July the 9th. Now they've been raising the stamp price of this forever stamp down through the years from 2007 to now. And
hmm
now it's 2023. But on July the 9th, they proposed a deal to raise the forever stamp price to 66 cents.
Oh my, that's a big increase.
So I'm trying to figure out, well, if that's a forever stamp and it costs 66 cents, how much does a regular stamp cost?
Right.
Doug say they lie almost constantly. Yeah, Doug. And that's why I started the show off with that fact, because that's a fact. And it's proof of how the government won't keep their words. The United States Postal Service
Yeah.
is owned and run by the government.
Yeah, we've got
They,
quite a bit of lies.
they created the forever stamp in 2007.
Yeah.
They said the reason for creating the forever stamp was to save people's money. Sandra says she remembered that, and that the price would never go up.
Yeah.
And that's why it was called forever.
Yeah.
I think they need to change the name of the stamp. What do you think, Tim? Do they need to change the name of the stamp, or what do they need to do?
Well, here's the thing about our government. They have selective amnesia. So
I like that, right? But
yeah, they have
selective
a lot of
amnesia.
selective amnesia. Yeah.
That deserves a laugh because it's true. I mean, a round of applause. No wonder nobody wasn't laughing. Selective amnesia.
Yeah, they get that way when it comes to things that's supposed to be beneficial to us. Yeah.
No, you mean beneficial to them.
Well, it would have been beneficial to us if they had stayed at the forever price
That's
start.
a word.
Right.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow,
Yeah.
that's what I started out with. But when we
Okay.
come back, I've been watching the hearing that's been going on. I watched it for half a day today.
Oh, well, you're doing better than me.
The hearing is supposed to be about the government's hold over the social media platforms and
Okay.
how the government is trying to censor free speech by having the platforms pull people, block people, delete stuff that the government doesn't agree with, the Democratic the parties don't agree with.
Okay.
And that's what the hearing was about.
Mm-hmm.
But a twist came to it. Time they got started, it started out right, supposedly as questioning the government about the things that they've done
Yeah.
and how they try to have influenced the social media platforms, particularly Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and whatever. But then a twist came. So I got to tell y'all about that twist. When we come back, I got my albuterol here in case I need it because this asthma's been wearing me down with this heat, y'all.
Yeah, it's a hot one today.
I am hardly fussing. So let's take a quick break. I'll take me a quick huff or puff of my asthma albuterol, and we'll be back. Y'all stick and stay and share away, all right?
All right.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Shack 12-Week Shred. My name is Rock Shabazz, and I'm here to take you through the same program that I made for this guy right here.
This program is without a doubt a huge reason why I was able to get fit and stay fit. If you put in the work and stay consistent, you just might be able to keep up. It's time for you to get to work.
What am I gonna get? Ooh, cherries. Oh, okay. How about cherry ice cream? With sprinkles? And maybe a baguette. And a French boy. Bonjour. Ooh la la, baby. You know what I need? Bath bombs. Bombs away! Gotta have Takis. Oh, I need balls. Okay, I'm gonna need some glue. Oh, and a new charger. I can never find those things. And I gotta get flowers for Mommy. And a little something for me. Can I get a robe?
Right, we're back. Let me get Tim in the screen. Tim, I'm going to let you talk a little bit about whatever you want to talk about. I think I got a delivery. It's
Okay.
It's an air purifier, and I don't want nobody snatch that off the porch.
I
I
know,
will,
right?
I will be back, so take over.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what I have to talk about tonight is that, DeSantis is the governor of Florida. He put in a approval for Black history to be taught in the Florida school system. Now, the Board of Education had to vote on the teachings, what they would consist of. They had to vote in favor of it, which they did, and it passed. What happened is, and here's where the problem comes in at, that they are in their curriculum, they are going to say that Blacks benefited personal benefits such as learning trades and skills from slavery. Now, this is in a big uproar. People around the world are fired up under the collar. Kamala Harris actually gave a speech at the Delta Sigma Theta sorority pertaining to exactly that, and how much of an outrage that was for something like that to be approved and put into the school system. So like I said, man, this is a problematic all around the world, because it only takes one state to start it and it spreads from there. Yeah, so I was just speaking to them about DeSantis had approved for Black history to be taught in the Florida school system, and that the board had to vote on this passing, which they did. But here's where the problem comes in. It's saying that, and it's going to be teaching that Black slavery was a personal benefit, such as learning trades and skills.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Did you say
yeah,
the state of Florida?
the state of Florida.
This Governor DeSantis state. He running for
That's
president.
that's what I said in the beginning. DeSantis state.
Sandra say what?
Yes, ma'am. It's such an outrage to the point that where Kamala Harris, she touched on it during her speech at the Delta Sigma Theta conference that was being held,
Wow.
as to how much of an outrage that is, and it's got people dumbfounded. Like, it's hard to believe that they will allow something like that to pass, and to pass with that as being a part of the teaching. Because I'm sure if you ask any Black person, even today, was there any benefits that came from slavery, I'm sure the answer would be not anything. That was, yeah,
Hello, Ernestine. Thank you for joining us.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what's up with that. If Doug says he throwing hot grits on woke, yeah. Not only that, I mean, it's like saying that the Holocaust didn't happen.
Yeah. Let me also throw into this little piece that 12 of his staffers were let go. They were fired. So it seems to be some ruckus going on in the
Yeah. Ernestine say good information, Tim.
Thank you.
Yeah. People gonna stand up. We gotta stand up against that because that's what history is always his story.
Right.
But his story belongs to the one that controls, that has the power.
Right.
And that's why Black history got hid for so many years. To
Hmm.
begin with, is because the African American culture did not have any power. But
Right.
now we have climbed up to a certain level of power, and particularly due to the civil rights movement. And so you got to hold on to that power.
Right.
And power is something that's hard to hold on to.
It is.
You got to do is ask Donald T about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's what happened at the hearing. So they were supposed to be talking about, uh, trying to stop the Biden administration from censoring free speech.
Okay.
So RFK, Robert Kennedy Jr., who is a Democratic candidate for president running against Biden, is a witness for the Republicans
Oh.
on in this hearing.
Okay.
So immediately, I mean, they couldn't even hardly get but maybe about 2 or 3 paragraphs out and get their little opening out the way before, when they called him, after they called him, then they started in on trying um, he's a witness now, but
Right.
they started interrogating him like he was the defendant.
Oh, so they
Throwing,
made him a hostile witness.
yeah, and they started digging. They had dug up stuff from back when he was young, stuff he had said
Uh-oh.
about African Americans, about race, and this, that, or the other. And they
Oh.
was, and they had a lot of things that he had said about the vaccine was a way to wipe out the population of people of color, and some things like that. But the thing about it is, even though he has a disability,
Mm-hmm.
he has a disability, a speech impediment.
Okay.
Well, but even I guess they thought they was gonna be beating him all over his head with a baseball bat with their pointing finger pointing their charges.
Yeah.
But what happened was, as a little kid say, what happened was, even with his speech impediment, he had his answers. He came back at them fighting in his defense, and then he made funny cracks about them. And anyway, it was a circus. But I was glad that Robert F. K was able to defend himself,
Yeah. I
because
mean, you
I
go
know
ahead.
how hard it is to talk. I got asthma, and I'm having trouble talking tonight because I've been having these attacks with this heat going on and stuff.
Yeah.
But he got I mean, this is something I'm just dealing with for, right now for a few days. But he has this every day, you
Right.
know, and I can imagine how difficult that was for him. But I was so proud of him, and I thought it was just ridiculous for the Democrats to do that. He's a Democrat, but the reason they did it was because they don't want him running against Biden, because they feel like he would win. He knocked Biden out. And he
Yeah.
probably would. He probably would put in all of the people of color votes because of the Kennedy name. You
Yeah,
know.
I was just gonna state on that. We still have to remember that is a political family, and they're a very strong political family.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm sure through him coming up, being around that, they take from history, as well as his brothers did, uh,
Mhm.
and they are
Man,
they always
his
have a.
daddy.
Yeah, that
His,
yeah, yeah. So it doesn't surprise me that he did not bow down to them. Um,
no, he was able to fight back. I mean,
yeah,
professionally, intelligently, his words
yeah,
without hesitation.
yeah,
He was coming back, and he was playing a dozen with him.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I was so glad that but it made the Democrats look really stupid, like they were stuck on stupid
Yeah.
today. Douglas has a comment about what you were talking about slavery.
Okay.
He says 50,000 patents were taken by the colonizers from past post slavery.
Okay.
And he's right about that because what they would do, Douglas, the masters would make the slaves come up with ideas for fixing things and making things operate. And they would take the idea and
Yeah.
claim it as their
Right.
own, you
Right.
know. So most of the ideas that made this country function in the first place came from slaves,
That is
you know.
correct. That is
And
correct.
so, and for the state of Florida to want to turn and try to twist that around, yeah, they did have skills. Yeah, they did have trade. And they had, but they were forced to learn trade, and
Right.
but they were intelligent enough to make a skill out of surviving. They was
Yeah.
forced to learn skills because they had to survive
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Not,
because of the master said figure this out, and they didn't try to figure it out. He was gonna get lashed,
yeah.
beaten, or killed.
Right. Yeah. And I was just sitting here thinking, if they really want to teach something, they should start there with all the inventions that were created by Black
Mm,
people. Um, but by them selecting what they selected to teach as
mm.
being personal benefits of trades and skills, lets us know what side of the fence he's really on.
Hey Chaz, thanks
Hey,
so much for joining us. Chaz was on our show Friday night for those of you who watch the politics show and don't watch Friday night show. He's our guest. Chaz is an entertainer and songwriter and I mean a film producer rather. Film producer. He's starred in movies like Pearl, A Harbor, and Missing, and um, the other one that I watched. I can't call the name of it, but anyhow, Chaz and I have become friends, and we are communicating across the lines because I told Chaz that I need him to work with me on my series when I start working on it next year. So, hey Chaz, thanks so much for joining us.
what's
And
up, Chad?
he said, hey everybody else. All right,
Hey, hey.
all right. Yeah, they'll probably we'll talk getting into that, talking about how they attacked Kennedy on the hearing today. I
Yeah,
watched it for about 4 hours for today, half a day,
right.
and he was a witness for the Republicans,
Yeah,
and because it's the Republicans that's requested this hearing about the Biden administration censoring
yeah.
people on social media platforms through their contact with with the social media platform owners, you know.
Right.
But yeah, that happened today, and it might be continuing tomorrow. I don't know tomorrow.
Yeah,
Doug say hi, Chaz. I think Doug might have watched the Friday night show on replay.
yeah.
We have a lot of people, Chaz, and always comes back. They watch our shows when they get to work.
Yeah.
Okay. But,
Yeah, yeah, just touching back on the Kennedys, they underestimate him. I don't know why they would underestimate him while he's cut.
because he has a speech impediment,
Yeah,
because
but
he has a disability, they thought that they could just beat him over the head with a bat today. And they
right,
ended up being looking stuck on stupid
right,
because
but
they're getting a whole lot of kickback, you know?
right, but he is cut from the same cloth. And if anybody knows anything about their family, the Kennedys have always been fighters
Yeah.
way back to the bootlegging days.
Yeah. They're part of the mob. That's true. I like
Yes,
Donald.
yes.
All
Little history there for y'all.
right, yeah, let's get out of round of applause, Tim. Tim say that's a history for y'all.
Yeah. So yeah, they underrated. like he said, thought he was going to be a pushover just because he had a speech impediment. Um,
Hmm.
but it looked like the egg is on their face now.
Yeah. So we got two more things to talk about.
Okay.
DOJ, Department of Justice.
Uh
Oh, Ernest C. clapping on that.
huh.
Chance say he's related to the Kennedys.
Oh,
Oh,
all
you
right.
Chance. Oh, okay. Well, look, you better stay tuned because guess what, Chance? I got a news flash for you for somebody else that you're related to is in politics. Uh-huh.
Uh,
Chance say, what is the hell is up with Biden? Geez, how do they continue to keep him in office? Well, you
yeah,
know what? It's just a connection thing, They
yeah,
you know how it is. Whoever in, they got to cover whoever in. You know how that goes.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
and plus
his
strings.
his posse,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
his posse.
yeah, and plus it's a lot of strings that's being pulled behind the scene.
And
Uh,
the thing of it is, though, see, the reason why he can get so much protection in media is because most of the media owned companies are owned by Democrats.
hmm.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And that's so that yeah, they definitely, and they don't care who in there as long as it's a Democrat, they gotta stand behind them whether they wrong or right.
right.
But the DOG, Department of Justice, has been sued, y'all. Biden been suing Biden and Attorney General Merrick Garland, and this is the America First Legal Association that is suing them for failure to register Hunter Biden as a foreign agent. This is from Associated Press today,
Okay.
because they say that Hunter Biden, as a foreign agent, directly represented Ukraine's energy company in the Burisma dealings
Okay.
during Obama's administration, and not registering him is a violation of the Foreign Agent Registration Act, which is, and you know how they use the letters in the government,
Yeah.
FARA, FIRA, that stands for the Foreign Act Registration. I mean,
Hmm.
Foreign Agent
Registration Act.
Registration Act.
Hmm.
And it comes under the code of Federal Government 22, United States Code 611B.
Yeah.
Tim, what do you think about that? First, we got to do
Yeah. Yeah.
time out. Time out. Okay, what you got? What you got? Think about that, Tim. What do you say about that?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, you just said it right before that. They're going to protect him while his father's in office. I think a lot of people do not really expect for his father to win the 24 election. So therefore, all of their protection will be dropped. So I think it'll be coming, but it'll be on down the line. If any repercussions are to come from that.
Chad said Hunter Biden is a traitor. Yeah, well, when a drug addict would turn on his own mama,
Yeah,
daddy, you
yeah,
know, and that's what he was
yeah,
when he was doing that business over there with Ukraine
yeah,
and China. Chaz, I also say the Democrats want their hands in every cookie jar. It's always been that way.
yeah,
The Democratic Party has turned into something other than the Democratic Party because, like I tell people all the time, the Republican Party is the true Democratic Party. That stuff changed after the Civil Rights Movement. A lot of people don't know that. African Americans have been voting Republic way all the way up until, gosh, what, probably about the 80s or 90s or something. Well, in the 80s, I'm sure, because I can remember your grandmother working in politics when they was doing all that Democratic stuff. But
hmm,
before then, African Americans voted Republican because that was the original Democratic Party.
Hmm.
Somewhere down the line, all this polarization came in
Yeah.
and splitted everything.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why a lot of African Americans, people of color for that matter, minority cultures, still vote Republican.
Yeah.
They don't make a big public announcement about it, but they still do.
Hmm.
And this is what's going on right now because the more that they come after Donald, the more his ratings go up.
Yeah. Definitely.
Why do you think that is, Tim? Anybody in the audience, why do y'all think that is?
Let's see what the audience got to say.
Okay, so Doug said, let me talk my speech. He was talking about John Robert Kennedy's speech impediment compared to dementia. Oh, you talking about dementia on Joe Biden? Okay, speech impediment. I know, right? They both kind of got some issues, but I think that I saw um, Robert Kennedy Jr. In action today. I watched him for a good 2 hours, uh, and the whole thing about 4 hours. But the comments had come in there from the anchors and stuff, from the TV station. But anyhow, because I tried to find it where they didn't have the reporters talking, but I couldn't
Yeah.
find it anywhere. So I had to listen to the reporters. Then they go back to the hearing, blah blah. You know how they go back and forth.
Yeah.
But I saw Robert Kennedy in action, and man, he whipped circles around Biden as far as quick response time.
Yeah.
Yeah, quick. He was on the money.
Yeah.
He could act. He could answer a question, and then he was cutting them off too. He wasn't letting them overtalk him and overtake him and overrun him. You know.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
got something for Chaz on that question that I answered.
Okay.
That I asked. Chaz says, he said, let's not forget the witch hunt against Trump, which continued today. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I was saying.
Right.
That, you know, that the Democrats think they're doing something smart and strategic. But that was really, really dumb for them to start playing their little strategic games about filing uh, you know, lawsuits and
Yeah.
trials
Right.
at this particular time.
Yeah.
Because all it does is make people say, oh man, you just using your politics power to go after your opponent.
Right.
Anybody can see that, doesn't matter what party they're on. And
Yeah.
Doug says, I'll let you get in there just a minute. I love to get the audience come and see.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Doug says the Democrats use JFK to manipulate the black vote. That's true. That's what I was talking about. Because when you go all the way back to history, if you want to go back and research that far back when blacks first got the vote, the power to vote, the vote was Republican. It didn't change until after the Civil Rights Movement, sometime during there. And then Chad says they just don't want him to run in 2024. So they're just starting early this time. True, I agree.
Yeah. I agree.
I agree. I think a lot of people agree on that. And and then what the Democrats don't realize is they think that they had a majority of the black vote, but doing stuff with this constantly going after Donald, constantly one
Yeah.
hit after another, just but you can't even get the ink on the paper
Yeah.
dried yet before
Yeah.
you slapping another.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody likes a bully. You know. Nobody does. And throwing around your power in that form, people see right through that.
Yeah, and particularly blacks, because blacks and people of color and minority people can identify
Yes,
with
yes,
the mistreatment.
and the tactics. Yeah,
The, this it's not anything strategic
yeah,
to blacks and people of color and minorities,
yeah,
because the government has always been prejudiced toward minority groups and people of color.
yeah,
So we can identify with that, and for you to do that, you're not doing anything Democratic Party, Biden administration. You're not doing anything but pushing away the black vote to somebody else. Now, whether or
yeah,
not it goes to Trump, I don't know, because they're talking about Robert Kennedy Jr. is doing a no-name party, no
yeah,
label.
yeah. I wanted to touch back on that Kennedy. I was just sitting there thinking. That family is cut from a different cloth. I could see him in 2024 being right up on Donald, because Donald's going to take it. It's just my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
But that family goes so deep, to the point to where they were willing to die for what they stood and believed in.
Well, they did die.
Absolutely. That's what I'm. Yeah, you're right. Um, you don't know many families that have done that. Not one death. You know what I mean?
All right, so Chaz says that he loves Trump, but he should not run in 2024. The
Uh-oh.
Democrats will destroy this country this time.
Mm-hmm.
Trump should support a Republican that he endorses
Mm-hmm.
and will back. Now, that's an idea. What do you
All
think
right.
about that, Tim?
I still have to stay with what we know. And
The devil you know.
what we know is that Trump has been battle tested. He knows what the job requires. He
Yeah,
knows what it takes. He knows
yeah,
who the people that need to be in the positions
yeah,
to get us back to the common person, to the blue collar workers. People are having a hard time now. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
People are trying to put food on their table. They're trying to put gas in their vehicles. They're trying to keep up with bills. And it seems like everything is going up. Nothing is coming down. So I have to stay with Trump, because we just can't afford as we the people to allow someone that into that job that's never done that job. It goes back to what I was saying last week. That means we got to wait for you to have on the job training for 2 years. Yeah, that's 2 years, which is half of your term with OJT.
right.
Yeah, that's two
I
years of
agree.
OJT. We don't have that type of time.
I gotta agree with you on that, Tim, because here's the deal. If anything, he's better experienced.
Yeah,
He's the most experienced to pull us up from. We don't. We got boots on, don't even having the straps,
right.
and it's gonna take somebody that's been there, did that, done that,
Yeah,
to put some straps on our boots and lift us up.
right.
Chaz saying, "True, Tim."
I agree 100%. But them Dems will go crazy if he's reelected, and will suffer the most. Okay, that's one way to look at it.
Got another one
Mhm.
else. Read that for me.
Okay, the Republicans brought Trump down. Okay,
Some of them did. Mm,
okay,
mhm.
dude.
All right,
Yeah,
go
that's
ahead,
not.
Tim.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I mean that's just our thing, and I'm glad you guys are jumping in here and putting your opinions into play, because that's what it's going to take for all of us. We
Mhm,
really, really have to think, and we really, really have to stand behind whomever that we put in this office. But we have to know that they can do the job that it takes to
mhm.
get us back up by our bootstraps.
I'd rather go with the devil I know than to go with the devil I don't know.
I agree.
So if people, since everybody want to call Donald the devil,
I agree.
uh, that's just the way it is. And then let me tell you something. When we went through COVID, which was something that nobody expected,
Nobody.
it wouldn't have made a difference whether it was a Democrat or a Republican in the White House. That was a hard blow
Oh yeah.
for the whole country.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
you cannot blame the COVID era on a president. It doesn't matter which party, right?
No. Right.
And so a lot of people, especially on the left, are still thinking that that's part of his problem. That when he failed, he didn't. We lost too many people because they didn't.
No. No.
And then another thing is the main reason. I don't care what excuse people say the reason why they don't like Trump. The main reason people don't like Trump is because can't nobody tell him what to do. Now I'm just being honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't
Yeah.
nobody tell you can't buy him. You
Right.
can't bribe him. You can't scare him. Can't nobody tell him what to do. I'm talking about in
Yeah.
politics now.
Right.
And that's the main reason why they don't like him.
Yeah.
Charles.
And also to add to that, people have to understand what he went through as a president is worse than going through a war.
Mm-hmm.
You have time to strategize during a war. People that never have dealt with war, been in a war, don't know how it operates.
Yeah.
That
Especially when it hits you unexpectedly.
absolutely, that was like the equivalent of having 5 wars going on at the same time with that virus.
You're right, Tim. I
So
agree. You're right.
this man held it together.
Yeah.
He held it together.
And
He
not
held us together.
and putting money in people's pockets so they could live. It didn't make no difference. It made no difference what color you was. He had it even Steven across the board. You were gonna get that $600 a week,
Yeah.
no matter what race,
Yeah.
religion, creed,
Right.
or color you was,
Right.
so that you could survive during this epidemic war.
Absolutely.
And people are not gonna forget that.
No, you ain't gonna
People
forget.
not gonna forget that because people now living from paycheck to paycheck,
Yeah.
and some don't even have a paycheck, and
Yeah.
all they thinking about is how good Trump was to them.
Yeah, during that epidemic, we had to deal with a lot of things, but one thing we wasn't was broke. I tell you, when you ain't got the struggle, you can deal with a lot of things. Yeah, you can deal with a lot of things when you ain't got to worry about being broke.
That was so true, Tim, guys. Well, we're gonna get ready to get out of here because it seems like my
Yeah.
coffee wants to come on, but I'm gonna get Doug's comment in there.
Okay.
He says imagine Hillary in office during the
Lord.
pandemic. And then Chad says COVID was created by the Dem because Trump finally placed a tariff on China. True, I remember that. It was payback.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's true because China's talking now.
Yeah.
China already threatening the Biden administration, and the Biden administration not doing anything.
Yeah.
They made the prime minister of China made a statement day before yesterday and said that they were going to take action if what's his name the Biden administration did anything about stopping their content, because they said that they compared us to stopping their content was like would affect their trade, coming over here, and that they would take action. And Biden administration has not even responded, So, yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, look, I also want to throw in there right quick. People, we got a problem with North Korea.
What is Kim Jong-un doing now? What happened? Tim, you frozen.
Am I froze now? Okay.
No, okay. Yeah.
Okay, he's saying that he might get a green light for a nuclear attack. Some
When?
some submarines appeared in South Korea.
Oh, he trying to do bye Chaz. Thanks so much for joining us. We're going to end it
Thanks, Chaz.
shortly. You can catch that. You can catch the end of the replay later.
So yeah, people. I just said that to say, we're getting it from all sides. We gotta have.
Chaz, before you go, let me tell you this. That was not closing. There's a Democrat, Brandon Presley. On the show, you told us that you were related to the Presleys. Democrat Brandon Presley from Grenada, Mississippi, is running for governor against Tate Reeves in Mississippi. And he is a second cousin of Elvis Presley. So I hope you caught that before you got out the box. All right. That's what I was going to be closing on. But Tim, back to your comment if I didn't interrupt you too much.
Oh no! You're fine. I was just saying that simply. We as the U.S. we're catching it from all sides. People are trying us. They feeling that we're at our weakest time, but we just need to hold on. If we can hold on, if we can get through this administration, change is coming.
Yeah. All right then. We'll leave it on that note. That sounds like a plan to me. All right, you guys. Look, we thank y'all so much for tuning in with us.
Yes.
Nobody laughs on politics show like we do.
Right.
We tell it like a TIT is, and we try to make it fun. We give you the facts just like it is.
That's right.
We can't make this stuff up. This is what's really going on. All right.
Yep.
All right. So that's our time. We're gonna say good night to everybody, and thank y'all so much for watching.
Good
Love
night.
y'all. See you tomorrow night. Got EP Plastic as our guest tomorrow night. And we'll be here in living color. Remember, free thought is a philosophy and not a policy. Don't let nobody put try to put a policy on your mind. All right. We love you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.